Welcome back. We are finally making a makeup video today. It has been almost 2 months. I was being so consistent and then life decided to just smack me in the face instead and say, take a break. So I did. But yeah, so we created this burgundy smoky eye to go with my sweater. It's kind of like inspired by a Pinterest that I saw. And yeah, I was feeling holiday party, smoky, dramatic glam. So that's what we made. If you guys want to see how I created this eye look, keep on watching. I was scrolling through Pinterest this morning and I saw a beautiful burgundy smoky eye. Decided to put on my burgundy sweater. I pulled out one of my very old Morphe palettes. I actually broke this in half. You can see like where some of the shades just popped out because it snapped in half. Don't ask me how I did it, it just happened. This is the 35V Stunning Vibes palette. I don't think they make this anymore. I wish they did though, because the shades in here are so beautiful and it performs so beautifully. So starting off per usual, I am prepping my eyelids with some Tarte Shape Tape. We're making this super simple. I grabbed 3 makeup brushes that we are going to use to create this. The palette doesn't really have like a light pink matte that I can use, so we may have to just do quite a bit of blending. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. It's like a mauve tone with the bigger brush, and we're just gonna take our time with applying it and then buffing it out, because this one's going to be a little bit darker than what I initially planned to use as a buffing shade, but we can still make it work. So we're going to take this brush and we're going to bring it onto the outer corner. Yeah, see, that's pretty dark, but it's going to work for this eye look. Pack the majority of the product on the outside of the eye, and then I'm going to slowly buff it in. So I am bringing this a little lower than I initially intended, because then we can buff it up into the brow bone area, and it'll get lighter as we buff it up. All right, so far this is what we're working with. I am actually pretty much liking that burgundy already. What I'm going to do is, there is actually not a deeper burgundy in this palette. These 2 shades are pretty similar. This is actually a little bit lighter, so I probably should have used that one instead, but we made it work anyway. So what I'm going to do is to take a little bit of this shade right here, which is the one we just used. And the tip is, if you need to make shadows darker, you can dip into the color you used, and then you can go into a deeper tone to help deepen the color if you want. So I will do a little bit of this one, and we're going to dip in a little bit into this one just because these are very similar, but this will deepen it a little bit. I'm afraid if I go in with the black, it'll be too dark. All right, so what you're gonna do is I'm gonna take the smaller fluffy brush and dip into the color we used and a little bit into that brown, and then one more time into that. So you're gonna have that amount of color. You're gonna bring this a little bit farther down and the same kind of style, but since the brush is smaller, you're gonna have more control over where you can place it. Whereas the bigger brush will give you a wider base of coverage. Just keep in mind to go lighter pressure with this one. You can see how it's making it a little bit darker. Okay, so for the final step of the smoky eye, I am gonna go in with that shade right here again that we used for our first color. And then we are so slightly gonna dip into that black very lightly on the packing brush. So then you're gonna take that and start right at the lash line. Do you see what I mean when I say you dip into black and it could literally change the whole color of the shadow? See that? So we're going to go in with a little more of that first shade we used to lighten up that black. And the reason why you want to start right at the lash line too is because you want to make sure the majority of that product is darkest at the lash line, because then as you work your way up and pack up, the color will get lighter. So it won't be as harsh or muddy of a line transitioning up. Alright, so I finished cleaning up my eyes, which definitely makes a major difference. But now I'm going to go in and do my base makeup. So I'm once again taking the Tarte Shape Tape Creamy version. This is shade Light Sand. I am I am quite on the pale side right now. My damp beauty sponge, and I'm just going to put that in. I like to do my concealer first. I know a lot of people don't. For my foundation, I'm using the Your Skin But Better This is shade Fair Neutral. I usually use Lancome. It is like my favorite foundation, but because I'm not really doing much today, I don't really want to waste my Lancome foundation. The only skin prep I used was my moisturizer. That's why my skin is so shiny. I did a serum and a moisturizer. I never do like a heavy face contour. That's just not my style. I'm more of like a dramatic eyeshadow gal. And then my base makeup tends to be very light. So I will do a light contour of just like my cheekbones. I don't like to contour my nose. Sometimes I'll do my forehead, but usually not. The Tarte Man-Eater blush. This one is Coral. I've had this for a very long time. So I'm not sure if it's one that's still available. But what I love about this is that it gives a nice sheen glow with it. So it makes the skin look more dewy and hydrated. And if you're not like a highlighter person, then you don't need to use highlighter if you use this. Because as you can see, it gives, see, that sheen glow. To set, I'm using the ABH Banana Powder, yellow tinted. And I'm not a yellow undertone, but I like to use sometimes more warmer toned products in a subtle way to help give me a little more color, because the winter's rough to me, guys. Like I'm like a ghost. So if I can add a little bit of a warm toned to the product, that doesn't make me look yellow, but it gives me like a little bit of life. That's usually what I tend to do. So I did go ahead and grab just a plain fluffy brush with no product on it. Just take a clean brush and just circular motion on the outside of the eyeshadow, and that will literally fix all that. Powdered contour. I do need a new palette or a new powdered contour because this one is A, very old, and B, it's hit pan. Powder brush, blush. So I'm gonna go in with these two. These are my most well-loved in the palette, as you can see. And we're just going to pop that right above. I'm gonna put on my mascara. This is the L'Oreal Panorama mascara. I was actually gifted this by L'Oreal. So I did grab another packing brush because I'm going to go in, I don't know why, but this shade is calling my name. This one right here. It's a very light pink shimmer, like rose gold almost. I'm gonna take that along the brow bone and just work that into the inner corner and a little bit onto the lower lash line just to brighten up the eye. Because you see how much of a difference it makes, this side versus this side on the inner corner. On the lashes, which I think just brought it to a whole nother level. You can see that the inner corner highlight just tied everything together as well. For the lippy, I did choose a ColourPop lip liner in Obvi, and I'm gonna pair it with, this is the Chucky collection from Glamlight, and this is the Tiff color. But I think these two together will pair beautifully with the Burgundy eye. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on, and then I will come back to show you the final look. This is the completed look with the lipstick. I think it paired beautifully together. The lipstick actually came out a little bit darker than I thought it was gonna be, but still works. Still works for the look. Still very burgundy, Christmassy, holiday party with a little bit of drama. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this burgundy holiday smoky eye, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.